Hello and welcome to Charlie Kirk, The Last Interview. I'm Ainsley Earhart. On the morning of September 10th, just before he was brutally assassinated, Charlie Kirk participated in the Restaurantology Summit in Salt Lake City, Utah. At that summit, he sat down with Andrew K. Smith, the managing partner of Savory Fund. They had a wide-ranging discussion in which Charlie reflected on entrepreneurship, the growth of Turning Point USA, and his philosophy on leadership. We're going to play that final conversation for you in its entirety in just a moment. But first, joining me now is Andrew K. Smith. Andrew, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
The last person to interview him, little did you know it would be his last interview. Yeah,
it was we're still a little bit in shock right now. Still trying to process it. When you're with a human and feel their life, he was full of life, he was optimistic, and have him walk out the back of the stage after our interview, and to find that out, under an hour later, it was a shock for all of us.
What was the audience reaction when you said, first of all, when you said Charlie Kirk is going to be a speaker? I know there was some hesitancy, but they changed their minds after they heard him speak. I want you to talk on that. And what was their reaction when you told them he had died?
When I had announced it, yeah, I got some kickback. I didn't know that there was such a feeling out there of people not wanting to listen to his rhetoric. But the one thing that we did early on, though, is that we said we're going to take politics off the table. This table is round. At Savory Fund, we believe that food is love, and the way that you share love is you break bread around a round table. And the reason why we always say it's a round table is because this industry it's a cross-section of all different political views and cultures and ethnicities. And when you come together, we're breaking bread. It doesn't matter. And Charlie loved that. He said, I love that. I want to be around people that we don't have to talk about our differences. Let's just talk about entrepreneurship. So we had people that were hesitant. We had the event. Actually, me and Charlie, we talked for the 35 minutes. And after that, I got a swarm of texts of people saying, I'm so impressed with that conversation. I didn't know that about him. I didn't know he was an entrepreneur like me. I learned a lot there, and it's actually changed my opinion of him entirely. People deserve to know the Charlie Kirk that I got to know before we had the interview. And the interview itself, as you watch it, it's so fun. I could have talked to him for hours. And I had some notes to ask him questions, and I think I ad-libbed on 3/4 of them because it was just so easy just to get rolling. And the last one that I asked him is, what's a favorite quote that you live by? It will blow your mind, his answer on that. But I think that you really felt the spirit that he carried as a human, the optimism. But at the end of the day, that conversation with him will be something for me I will remember the rest of my life.
It's interesting how life can change in a moment, and you didn't realize when you're sitting on that stage with him, what was about to happen in the next few hours.
Yeah, he walked off the stage with me at 11:21. He came off the stage and said, how did I do? He wanted to know that he did a good job. And I said, Charlie, that was great. And he goes, I loved the energy of this. We want to do this again. I'm like, well, if I do another one, I would love to have you come back. And he walked out the door at 11:23. And our first reports that we got that he was shot was about 12:30, that he was shot at 12:20, 21, 23. So yeah, within an hour. And it just rocked us. Behind the stage, all of my team that was running the event with me, we were just in disbelief. But we thought, the audience doesn't know, and it's going to be very distracting, so we should tell them. And so we actually walked out on stage. I did initially, and I told everybody I just informed that Charlie has been shot at UVU, and there were gasps. You could tell emotion. People were in disbelief. People were reeling.
What did you learn from that experience? What lesson?
Yeah, I think that we learn a lot when we sit down with people, even if they're different. They have different opinions, different political views. If you can make it apolitical, a conversation, you really learn who the person is. And he was a person not only of faith, but he was a person that was driven. He was innovative with what he was thinking about doing with his career and with the business that he had built. And he had a tenacity and grit that is what makes America amazing.
You're feeding America. I like the roundtable idea because that's what we need in this country. Put politics aside and let's break bread together. Thank you. Food for thought.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at Charlie Kirk's last interview.
I have enjoyed being a founder and meeting other founders. And when I meet other founders, I love hearing their stories. And I think that in every founder story, there's something that you can glean to say, am I doing things as good as I could be. And so one of the things that I found as I met Charlie, and this is the first time we've met actually in person, was that you're an entrepreneur, that you have this entrepreneurial journey that I don't think a lot of people would realize, that I didn't even realize. And because I've been an entrepreneur for 28 years, Charlie, a little bit longer than maybe you. Yeah. But as I've looked back at the past 28 years, I still think about the different inflection points I've had in my career and all the things that I learned at those different inflection points. You're, I think, years ahead of where I was, but I still have learned a ton from just talking to you a little bit. But before we jump into our entrepreneurial journey and share with a room full of entrepreneurs and executives, Charlie, we're both Chicagoans. Where are you from, and what's your story in Chicago?
Yeah, I'm from Wheeling, Arlington Heights area.
Arlington Heights.
Yeah, so I mean,
Elgin.
Yeah, so Brian's here. He's a big Vikings fan. It's just this whole thing. So tough week.
Tough week. It was a tough week. I think it was the last minute,
thanks
right?
for reminding me.
Yeah. No. Hey, listen, I'm a Bears fan in the back as well, but yeah, you grew up in Chicago. You're not in Chicago now, though, Charlie.
No, in Arizona.
In Arizona.
So whoever runs Hash Kitchen, we have pumped a lot of money into your enterprise, and we'll continue to do so. Great, well run. I didn't even know you guys had Hash Kitchen. Yeah. You have these, I think, these Bloody Marys that
are like this
code.
big.
Yeah. It's like you walk in, it's like half the size of
you don't even need breakfast after that. Yeah. But no, Scottsdale's in a great place. We've built a lot of restaurants in Scottsdale and in Arizona Air Market, and it's great, and Hash is great. But you live there, you're married.
Yep, 2 kids.
Married and 2 kids. So you're doing the father figure thing, and it's hard, right?
It's a lot, especially as an entrepreneur, right?
Yes.
There's practices that we have to sustain to keep it all together, such as honoring the Sabbath, which is really big in our family, just resting for one day.
Yeah.
Because as you know, working just for 7 days straight, you'll burn yourself and your organization out if you do that.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're in an industry where you go 7 days a week, predominantly, right? And there are some very big brands that have done it where they've taken off Sunday. We have some brands
Chick-fil-A, right?
Chick-fil-A, yeah. And we have some brands ourselves that are off on some Sundays. I actually think that we all should do what Italy does, and that is take the whole month of August off. Should we do that? Who wants to do that? Because I want to do that.
Makes up for the whole year.
Yeah, it makes up for the whole year. I think we should do that. But did you ever see yourself here, though? Like, go back to when you were in Arlington Heights, and you're like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to build a thriving business, which I don't think a lot of people understand. You have a lot of different business events that you're doing. And it's not just events, it's actually business investments and initiatives as well. And that's what was surprising to me, is like, you're a true full-blown entrepreneur. Did you ever see yourself here?
Well, not exactly. It's been kind of a interesting journey. But no, look, I've always been someone who has been into building stuff, and especially whether it be brands or businesses. And one thing I think that people don't quite grasp is that we have 1,000 employees in what we do. You know, we have a very successful for-profit entity, a very successful non-for-profit entity. You know, well over $140 million in revenue now a year.
Incredible.
Which in our space is a lot of money, right? And so, yeah, look, I love finding problems and solving them, which is what an entrepreneur at its core actually is. And I love building teams. I myself know my skill set, and managing is not one of them, you know, managing people day to day. But I'm really good at trying to find a vision, put forward exactly how we're going to get there, and then being kind of that life force. And as an entrepreneur, I find this especially with founders. Founders are rarely good day-to-day managers. Sometimes they are. But the one thing the founder has is that spark and that relentless drive to go to the next location or to the next interval. And what I have found is that is a rarity in a lot of times, where sometimes my team is like, Charlie, why do you keep on pushing? It's like, that's just who I am. It's like, we have to grow, we have to expand. I'm sure, you know.
Same thing.
Same DNA. And understand, as founders and executives and as entrepreneurs, you're in a genetic rarity, literally, because most of the world just kind of wants to keep things the same. And it's our job to push them and to give them the vision and to instill them exactly what success looks like. So I love building stuff. I have some other fun entrepreneurial stuff we're actually going to announce later this year.
Awesome.
So that's a little bit of a tease.
I know that you're a little bit of a developer too. You like a little bit of real estate, you're developing?
Land, private, investments. I just can't, sit still.
Can't sit still.
Some crypto, some also,
of course, everybody's got crypto.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know. But I have no recommendations of any coins. But no, all kidding aside though, I love the free market. I love actually playing and participating in it. And I also just love finding if there's problems that people need to be solved. And that's kind of been part of my life's work.